Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to Eons of Battle. Like many of you, I was excited to see Games Workshop's article start 2022 off right with a sneak peek of this year's new releases. In that video, we see 22 snapshots of close-up model photography that basically show us that yes, there is new stuff coming down the pipeline. When I watched the video, I thought to myself, cool, and then moved on. But later, I caught myself thinking about what I saw over and over, and eventually unconsciously analyzing what I saw. And so I decided to return to the video and do a proper deep dive. Also, Games Workshop, you do a great job naming your articles. Start 2022 off right with a sneak peek of this year's releases. Very catchy. If that were posted on an open forum somewhere, it would definitely get a lot of clicks. But it's hosted on your own website. You already have everybody's attention, so you don't need clickbait. These crazy titles make things really hard to look up and hard to find that article that I was reading a month ago. So Games Workshop, just for me, how about simple, short, descriptive titles? Anyhow, I think that I have uncovered all the secrets. These 22 images actually show us 7 new miniatures coming to 40K and Age of Sigmar in the upcoming year. So let's deep dive into these images. Clearly, we are seeing very similar, if not the same old Chaos smokestacks we know and love from the current Chaos kits, like the Night Desecrator and Night Rampager. Those are Chaos-specific kits that do not feature carapace weapons, and that current lack of carapace weapon makes me think that this is not just another Chaos Knight, but something new. Now, Chaos Knight armies have access to the Night Despoiler, which is just a regular Loyalist Knight Preceptor Canis Rex box, which you are meant to paint chaosy. This box gives Chaos players access to some of the best Knight weapons, but it is not really a Chaos model. In fact, it doesn't even have its own box. You have to buy the Loyalist Knight. I think that what we are seeing in these photos is a regular Chaos Knight model with a Chaos-specific upgrade. What makes me think this is the angle of the legs. They are not bent like the Chaos-specific sculpts, but mostly upright like the Loyalist sculpts. And the new Chaos gun makes me think that this will be a Chaos-specific upgrade to the classic Knight with a Chaos-unique arm weapon and carapace weapon. So it looks like Chaos Knight armies are going to be expanded to bring them in line with their Loyalist counterparts. Maybe down the line we'll even see a proper Chaos Tyrant Knight. That would be super cool, but in these images we are certainly seeing a new Chaos Knight Despoiler. Chaos players rejoice. Moving on. Now, the second model we are teased is not nearly so secretive. It is a new Phoenix Lord, Magan Ra. A bit of a bad boy amongst the Eldar, to put it mildly. He is an ancient warrior who wears pieces of an old Eldar shrine on his body. And during the 13th Black Crusade, he rescued his craft world, Altansar, from the warp and brought them back to the safety of real space. Although the rest of the Eldar don't really trust him or his people who spend so many years inside of the warp. Everything we see of him seems to be pretty straightforward recreation of his old model with a skull helmet and bone decorations. But one thing that is interesting is his unique shuriken catapult. This weapon, known as the Magatar, interestingly features what looks like a Tyranid bone sword instead of the old Executioner power blade. And this makes a lot of sense because Magan Ra famously fought and saved the Eldar from both Hive Fleet's Kraken and Behemoth. So it's very cool to see him keep a trophy of those battles. Just as we got Jane Zar and her Howling Banshees, I would be amazed if the new Magan Ra doesn't mean that we're gonna get some new plastic updated Dark Reapers, who right now have 3 incredibly old resin sculpts floating around. So Eldar players, rejoice. Next up, the third model shown off is a lot more mysterious. When I first saw it, my immediate thought was Drukhari Witches, but I don't think that's what it is. The armor seems too revealing. Games Workshop always paints witches' hair as red, and here it is white. And the Drukhari do have some whip-like weapons, but this one does not look much like the Agonizer or Razor Flail. And the daggers look wrong too. It also doesn't make sense to get a new, different-looking Drukhari witch when the classic witches based off of the old model are on the front cover of the new Drukhari Codex, so I'm pretty sure that this is a Daughter of Cain model. Most likely, this model is a leader character for the Witch Elves from the Age of Sigmar army, the Daughters of Cain. Which makes sense, as apart from Melusai and Marathi, the Daughters of Cain are really lacking in the character department, and this could be a Cryella model or a similar Slaughter Queen. So that you can have one in your army without needing to buy the Cauldron of Blood and then yank her off of it. And although the armor seen in these photos is not a perfect match, these little red fabrics with the barbed metal tassel is a 1-to-1 match with some of those found on the Witch Elves. So it looks like Daughters of Cain will be getting at least one new model this year, and I would betcha they'll get a couple more, because Games Workshop seems to love to bundle new releases to pump up army books and codexes. You know what Games Workshop didn't feature anywhere in these teases? That is Terrain. But don't worry, Eons of Battle has you covered. We have a bunch of STLs over on our Patreon. Hop over there to check them out. It is the best way to help support us making videos, and you also get access to hobby hangouts, behind the scenes, and other exclusive content. Anyhow, let's take a look at the next set of photos. The next model teased, I am sure got a lot of bug players excited because it is clearly a new Tyranid model. It is basically impossible to mistake this for anything else, but what model could we be looking at? It is clearly has wings, but looks smaller than the flying bugs like the Tyranid Harpy and flying hive tyrants. But it looks a lot bigger than the gargoyle, the rank and file flying bug. I think we are looking at a new Tyranid Shrike. Back in the day, Forge World used to sell wings for Tyranid warriors so that you could convert them into shrikes. And we definitely seem to see a blurry shape that looks like the lower rib cage pelvic looking part of the Shrike, with a lower set of close combat weapons, and the wings definitely look beefy enough to carry a Tyranid warrior into the air. This could make for a really cool option for people who want to field all winged Tyranids. The Shrikes, although never really being good in the game, are a fan favorite of those who are fans of the Forge World Tyranids. My educated guess is definitely a new Tyranid Shrike. And if it's not, I suppose it could be a Parasite of Mortrex model, although it's hard to speculate on that as the Tyranid character has never actually seen a model, so no one knows what it looks like, and the last artwork was fairly abstract and last seen in the 6th edition Tyranid Codex, and currently has no rules, so who knows? I would betcha that we are seeing a resurrection of the Tyranid Shrike. And I'm super excited to see some more Tyranid love. It seems like a lot of the Xenos races are getting more love this year. Moving on. The next model we are shown is definitely a Genestealer cult something. Now, the Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor has a ton of unique characters and character elites, so this would slot in nicely, and we see some hallmarks of classic Genestealer cult design. The striped black and yellow cords, and the oxygen tank tube chest armor thingy that basically every cultist wears. Now, for being a group of civilians living on a mining industrial world, this guy looks a lot more grungy and dirty than the cultists we have seen so far, and it seems to be a big departure in the lower half of this model. He is wearing simple leather boots, which is a big deal as all Genestealer cultists who have human legs wear the same black mining work boots with bumpy ribbed ankle pads, so this boot is something new. We also see a much more ramshackle tool with simple cloth wrapping handles, where most of the cult stuff looks pretty clean and neat. This could be Games Workshop branching out, as Genestealer cults are supposed to be galaxy-wide and probably vary a ton in looks, so this could be something like a unique character who leads the cult on a more brutal death world. All armies in 40k feature different chapters, sects, covens, fleets, and legions, so perhaps we are finally seeing the Genestealer cult branch out to more than just color swaps, although I could not tell you what model this is going to be. In the very short lifetime of the Genestealer cult, we've seen wizards, assassins, snipers, brutes, bodyguards, tacticians, and doctors, so who knows what crazy characters Games Workshop is going to think of next. The next model is an enigma to me. I am 100% sure that this is a Nighthaunt model, but what it is, I don't really know. We see all the hallmarks of the Nighthaunts, candles, wispy green bodies, glowing green lanterns, but it must be something new, as the Nighthaunts are a fairly new invention for Age of Sigmar, and so this is looking like it's going to be a brand new unit. Now to speculate on what that unit is, it seems to be a very prop heavy, which leads me to suspect that this will be a new character model along the lines of the current Nighthaunt leaders. I think this will be on a similar large 60mm round or 70mm oval base like Kudros, Lady Oleander, or Reichnor, the current Nighthaunt named characters. Some kind of bookkeeper keeping a list of names of everyone who dies in the mortal realms that Nagash can sink his undead claws into. Nighthaunt models are always unbelievably cool looking and dynamic, and even though I like to collect the good guys for Age of Sigmar, I'm super excited to see what this bad boy looks like. That book has me excited. And now, last but not least, the new model does not leave much up to speculation. It is a new Avatar of Cain model, which I think is disappointing. The old Avatar model still looks great, right? It was sculpted in 1994, so it's not quite even 30 years old yet. Standing at a whopping 1.5 inch tall, Primaris Marines tower over this guy. This model is long overdue for a refresh, but the odd thing is that Forge World has been selling a much better, taller, more proper Avatar for forever now, and most people love it. Now that one is armed with a spear instead of a sword, so I guess it's different, but it's good to see a resin model get a plastic refresh. But it's one more instance of Forge World getting its toes stepped on by Games Workshop. I think Forge World's days are numbered. The new avatar looks like it's going to be a super sweet update, and finally Eldar players are going to be able to pick up a proper Fire God for their collections. Let me know what you guys think of my ideas. I'm pretty sure I nailed every single one, but if you disagree, please leave it in the comments below. Also, Games Workshop, you can't get nothing past me. I know your catalog inside and out. Unless it's Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. I know nothing about that game. Bye.